I'm getting the cheapest flight every single day to visit new destinations on a budget. Skyscanner's most popular destination is everywhere, which shows you the cheapest possible flights. This is going to be absolutely crazy. Let's start our journey when we arrive at the airport. After a hectic day of exploring the capital of Austria, we are back in Vienna airport. Probably 19 hours ago. We were only just arriving and we're already leaving. I never thought I'd ever visit this country that we're about to go to. So like I said, they're not part of the EU, which means I won't even be able to use my data on my phone. So that could be a problem, but we're only there for one day. Hopefully we can figure things out for that day and still manage to check everything off. So this is definitely going to be the most difficult to complete the tasks. So that £8 mystery flight is from Vienna to Tirana in Albania. Albania for £8. So that will be where we are heading to next. Welcome to Tirana in Albania. It's crazy where this challenge has taken me, and not for 1 second did I think I'd be spending a day in Albania. So the flight again was with Wizz Air, and you can't go wrong with them really, you know, £8 for that flight, and it was an amazing flight. We actually made time, so we arrived in Albania, Tirana, earlier than expected. So the hotel offered me pick-up from the airport for just €20, so I decided to take it because we don't have data as UK in Albania. So I took the transfer, and then when we got to the hotel, they offered me a free upgrade to this suite, and I'm sure I'll show you this in the morning. But yeah, it's currently 1 AM and I'm desperate for a shower and desperate to some sleep. So then we can wake up bright and early and start exploring Tirana, Albania. Good morning from Albania's capital, Tirana. Honestly, that hotel room for £30 was absolutely amazing, and I caught up with some much needed sleep because, yeah, travelling around for these days have definitely caught up with me. So a new day in a new country, Albania, and that means a fresh checklist, but we're going to have to add another task onto there because Tirana Airport do not accept digital board passes. And obviously, if you ask to print it off at the airport, they charge you ridiculous amounts. So what I'm going to have to try and do first is have a walk around, see if I can find like a stationery shop, a printing shop that will print off my boarding pass for cheaper. So yeah, that's the first task of the day, and then we'll get exploring Tirana, Albania. Well, that was easy. Time to get exploring Tirana, Albania. Let's go. So we've just finished visiting the Bunk Art 2 Museum here in Tirana, Albania. So this unique Albanian history museum is a preserved communist-era nuclear pit bunker. It holds a lot of information on how the Albanian people suffered for many years during those times. So Bunk Art 2 reconstructs the history of the Albanian Ministry of Internal Affairs from 1912 to 1991 and reveals the secrets of the political police that was the harsh persecution weapon used by the regime of Enver Hoxha. Bunk Art is a must-visit during your trip to Tirana, just for the exciting experience of walking through a spooky and scary bunker in the capital of Albania. So we are now approaching the pyramid of Tirana, and now it's just used as an open public space, but it has had many uses over its lifespan. So the pyramid of Tirana opened as a museum in 1988. It then became a conference centre in 1991 due to the collapse of communism, and then during the 1999 Kosovo War it actually became a NATO base. So now they've turned it into an open sculpture for all the public to enjoy, and you can actually get to the top. Look at this. So I didn't really know what to expect when I found out I was coming to Albania, but look at this. And the amount of green open areas in the capital city of Tirana is incredible. And look at the weather. We went from snow to freezing temperatures to now the sun. So yeah, let's keep exploring Tirana. Welcome back to Skanderbeg Square here in Tirana, Albania, and we've absolutely smashed the points of interest. So that takes us to 3 out of 5 completed challenges today. So yeah, the problem is now with getting the souvenir and the local food is a lot of places only take cash, and I don't have any cash on me. So I'm either going to search for a place that will accept card, or we've got to figure out how to get cash out. So yeah, but what a city, what a place, what a country. So we finally managed to get some money, and I've walked up and down the main street in Tirana about 5-6 times, and there's not one souvenir shop. Literally couldn't see anything. The only thing they have is about 1 million travel agents and jewellery shops. So I'm just going to go to this local stall now. They're selling like, it's called pizza and ice cream, but the queue there has been mad all day, and every time I walk past it I keep on eyeing it up, and now I've got some cash. I'm desperate to try it out. So 2 days ago now we were in Romania in heavy snow, and now we're about to open some pizza in the sun of Albania. So yeah, we went to that place that I was telling you about. It's not really local food, but all the locals would go in there. It was like crazy, like quick in and out cash exchange. And yeah, we went with 2 slices of pizza and a Coke, and it come to about £4.50, £4, something like that. So amazing value. So yeah, still having struggled with the souvenir. The only thing I've seen is colouring books and sunglasses. We've still got a few hours in Albania, so we're gonna have a walk around. Hopefully we can find a good souvenir. But yeah, for now I'm just gonna enjoy this pizza. So we've just come to Tirana Castle, and you're probably thinking to yourself, it doesn't exactly look like a castle. And it doesn't, because as recently as 2018, instead of restoring the castle ruins, they built like a bazaar inside full of shops, bars, restaurants. So the history of the castle dates back to the 1300s, and it is actually the heart of Tirana here in Albania. Welcome to Oda restaurant here in Tirana, Albania, and this is without a doubt the most traditional and local place that we have been on the whole trip. So we've got some kofti, which is basically Albanian style meatballs with some homemade bread, and a Fanta, and that came to about 1,000 left, so about £8-9. So let's get into it. Meatballs. Really nice. And then some homemade bread as well. Nice. So, I'm gonna eat all this, and then we've got to rush to the bus station and then get to Tirana Airport. Oh, man. Albania really lived up to the hype and the expectation of being the hardest challenge yet on this trip. So we got a taxi back to the airport for only 1,100 lek, so great price in total to get all the way from the city centre to the Tirana airport. So we still got about an hour and a half to wait till our flight. So we come to this place and got a good old-fashioned Oreo milkshake. You can't go wrong. I can never say no to a good milkshake. So yeah, Albania was a success in the end. It took off to a slow start. That was partly my fault for sleeping in, missing breakfast. But the challenge with having no signal when you're trying to locate like attractions, and then you're trying to organise money as well. But yeah, we got there in the end. And once again, we went to about 4, 5, 6 points of interest. We made sure to make the most of our time in Tirana. And honestly, what an underrated city it is. Like, I never really knew much about it before, but it definitely exceeded expectations. So the next flight we're taking costs just £16, and we're heading to one of my favourite countries in the world.